I'm sorry, I'm using my dog as a camera today. So I've discussed Hanna-Barbera, Mickey Mouse, and Looney Tunes. You know what's missing? If I look at modern takes on the Golden Age, like 90% of it. Well, those two may be able to live up happily to the whole having a franchise thing. A lot of the classics from the early age animation aren't as lucky. Oh, I'm sure you'll recognize a lot of the classics, and look at a few occasional new pieces of media, and will live forever in tattoo shops, but a lot of the biggest new animation more or less are only held up by their legacy, with nothing to show for it. There are so many examples of Golden Age franchises. Rocky and Bullwinkle, Droopy, Mighty Mouse, Mr. Magoo, Casper. But I'd say the big five, the ones most synonymous with the Golden Age, are Felix the Cat, Betty Boop, Popeye, Woody Woodpecker, and the Pink Panther. These guys are instantly recognizable. We'll get the occasional new piece of media here and there, and definitely have their fans, either hard-pressed to find any of them under 60, but they're important to animation, even if they're slowly being forgotten. I don't like doing this, but to prove a point, I'm going to ask everyone watching this to leave a comment saying what you know about these five franchises. Just like every character you know from them, any like pieces of media specific, like general plots or any of their specific shorts or whatever. Just anything you know about these five franchises. We'll get back to this later. For 5 characters older than most anyone who actually watched this video, you seem to have a ton of stuff to discuss today, right? Well, actually, there's like nothing here. In fact, there's so nothing here. I'm gonna actually expand from my normal start date of the 90s to also include the 80s. Trust me, this will be important. All these franchises have helped mold animation to what we know today, but like, there has to be something more to them than just being old, right? I'm not gonna applaud the pack of crackers that have been running away in my cabinet for the past 20 years for being old, you know? So join me as we see how fast gold can rust, as we look on the other Golden Age animation icons and see their legacy. Starting us off right in 1980 is Hooray for Betty Boop, also known as Betty Boop for President. Betty Boop for President was actually the name of an old short. This has nothing to do with that, which is weird since it's a compilation movie. Betty wants to leave her house because her dad is really sexist. Oh goody, we can immediately start off our Golden Age cartoon, Yikers, bingo! Betty wants to make something of herself and runs away to various places. The first place is the underworld, where all women belong.
Get back in there, sing it, bimbo!
Eventually Betty realizes that she wants to be president, going across the world and reusing a bunch of shorts to really make use of that $3 budget. While calling it a film is generous, it does have a great mix of all of Betty's previous works, including her most iconic cartoon, Swinging Sinners. So it's a pretty decent watch if you want to learn more about animation's first lady. Even if she does change the designs every short. How did geezers find this attractive? Well, okay, we in 2025 have one of our biggest sex symbols be a triangle with a top hat, so you know, maybe every generation has freaks.
Stand tall, man. This could mean Disney.
Oh, you wish you were Disney, Betty. You really do wish that. Movies based on cartoons are very much looked down upon. Usually they're really cringy and don't understand the original's appeal. Instead of forcing modern day slang into these classic worlds that end up appealing to no one. The thing is, when watching these movies, I simply want what's promised. I want to see the original cartoon in live action, how you can translate the whimsy of that world into real life, preferably without it taking place in New York. A few films actually accomplish this. The Flintstones, Scooby-Doo movies, Casper, Yogi Bear, Rocky and Bullwinkle. They are high art that makes monsters or scares you shed a tear at their complex nuances. But they're fun films that get why people like the original shows. Arguably the first film to do this is a 1980 Popeye movie. This is basically just a live-action version of your average Popeye short. Popeye comes into town, falls in love with olive oil, fights Pluto, the works. But the performances are genuinely great. While worrying it's going to ruin his career, spoiler, it didn't, Fern perfectly captures the way Popeye talks and acts, even with his tumor arms. And Shelley Duvall is literally just Olive, like frame perfect. This is a very interesting year for her. Right before she was Olive, she was in Shining. The film is a musical, and it's like really catchy and upbeat. All the songs are super fun and fit the fun nautical vibe very well.
So me, I had a dream of beating myself.
The film, while held back by being from the 80s where I couldn't do major effects, still some fun scenes like Popeye punching an octopus or the bar fight that feels right out of the old shorts. Bluto's big, dumb, idiot ego is shown perfectly. Who forgot the cartoons? Ruby and a few other minor characters make appearances. Is it complex? No, but it's fun. It's funny. It's a great watch that, despite what Ron Williams and the film director might say, I'll fight for it till the finish. So what is set up for Pink Panther now we got to this first piece of media? Unlike the others who originated from cartoons or comics, Panther was originally from a live-action franchise of the same name, where a bumbling detective tries to find a stolen diamond, named the Pink Panther. At the start of some of these films, they'll have animated shorts of the actual Panther attempting to elude the inspector, which were popular enough to be spun off for their own short series. Pink Panther and Sons has nothing to do with what I just said. The inspector was shot dead, and now it's all about Panther's two sons, and really just them. Panther barely appears at all, but I appreciate how he stays silent like the original cartoons. And it's just the kids going on typical adventures of that era that aren't too special. 80s cartoons live and die by their charm, and I'm not getting it from this. It's just a kind of a typical slice of life without any fun gimmicks that they commit to. And the character designs just scream knockoff characters. Before you ask, we never find out who the mother is. I've fallen out of Nostalgia Critic pretty massively. It was once the biggest reason I wanted to start a YouTube channel. It has become a channel I can't stand, for many reasons. Despite that all, I still remember some fondness for his older works, whether it be really funny or actually decent criticism. One thing I always remember from him though, for some reason, is the start of his review for Felix the Cat, the movie.
It's horrendous! It's just ungodly, unnatural! If a piece of shit took a piece of shit!
This could just be the standard angry critic makes it seem like he despises something harmless joke he's done millions of times. But not does the video really hammer in how much he hates this movie, but he then made a list of the worst films he reviewed. And of all of them, this, of all movies, was number 4. The bad movie reviewer considers Felix the Cat the movie, of all films, as the 4th worst film he's seen. Notably the only animated film on the list. He's made this list that Felix the Cat wasn't on it, but still, for some time, this was considered one of the worst films to him. I just didn't get it. Even having not watched the film and watched the review, I never got how this could be so bad, but never got curious enough to see why. Well, guess dreams do come true. Felix the Cat, the movie, is the most nonsensical thing I've ever seen. It starts with Felix beating Mario to the punch, before some CGI level animation of a princess summoning Felix to save her from a villain that looks like a real version of Mysterio, kidnaps her. So Felix comes in and saves her. But King Koopa forces him to join the circus, and we see rats abuse each other for 3 minutes. Then he finds the princess and kills Mysterio, and they're treated to the worst voice acting ever. Absolutely nonsensical. Barely has a plot. I adore it. Honestly, I like the format of a character just walking around and meeting strange characters and worlds. Alice in Wonderland, Raggedy Ann, or The Garden Wall. And this is nowhere near as good, but it's entertaining. It's just a bunch of colors and noise, yeah, but they're fun colors and noises. This is not worst film material. Not even the worst thing in this video. Honestly, check it out. It's a guilty pleasure now. Thank you, you wonderful, wonderful cat.
I will delay them for as long as I can. I'm old.
The Romance Betty Boop came out in 1985 and was the first of 2 TV specials Betty Boop has gotten. Betty is tired of her boring, repetitive life and wants to find someone to love. She does. Well, that was easy. The special really stands out thanks to the backgrounds, resembling old magazine cutouts, which helps the characters stand out super well, even if all the non-Betty characters look out of Schoolhouse Rock. Besides the one guy with a ball chin.
He's a ball-chinian.
Kind of funny that Betty claims she doesn't care about money, but literally only dumped the rich jerk guy because she found out she's being hired as a maid instead of marrying him. Being only a 20-minute short is not super deep, but it's cute enough. Popeye and Son is kind of a take on the classic series baby formula, but a bit more interesting as Popeye himself is still a major factor in the show. The show has a premise of Popeye adopting a kid at the same time Blue does. Their game similar dynamics as the adults, of really hitting each other's guts. Popeye's son is Popeye Jr., not Sweet Pea, his usual adoptive son, who's completely absent from this. Why not just make him Sweet Pea? Or give Popeye and Olive a biological kid? Let Popeye have sex. Bluto's kid, Butch, kind of wish they made the obvious nod of naming him Brutus, is a bit more fun since they can be more rude with him. But the show is just in general held back by being really tame. There's no violence or action like in this. Like Popeye can still eat spinach, but it's usually done for quick gags. Not the creative reality bending we usually see from the old shorts. The show is only 13 episodes though, so it's not a pain to sit through. But if you want Popeye to actually feel like Popeye, we need him to give up his child. The second of the Betty Boop TV specials is Betty Boop's Hollywood Mystery from 1989. Betty, Coco, and Bimbo, yes it's funny that his name is Bimbo, try to break into Hollywood, but instead get framed for stealing an expensive necklace. Pretty fun throwback to her golden age, with some fun gags and songs, not a lot to dive into since it's only 20 minutes. But there's 2 notable bits. For one, Betty's voiced by Melissa Fawn in her voice actor role. You'll know her as Gaz, Radical Edward, and Dindy. And the sad thing? This is the last time we're going to discuss Betty in this video. Yeah, that's why I expanded it to the 80s. Because Betty never got anything past that. Nearly 4 decades without anything from animation's First Lady. We haven't even discussed Woody Woodpecker yet, and Betty's already out. Just really shocked me. I assumed she'd have some random spin-off movie or something, seeing as I argue she's the second most popular of the 5. But this is where she ends. Especially ends with Betty being turned down for being a Hollywood star and retiring to be a small show singing about what it really means to be a star. And you know, maybe that's the best for Betty Boo. Pink Panther 1993 blends the comedy of the original shorts with bits of the original live-action films and a more modern, 90s, twist. Like, you can't get more 90s than a saxophone-heavy intro with native stereotype. To those who aren't real Panther heads, Pink Panther really ever spoke in the original shorts, his antics being akin to a silent Bugs Bunny, where he'll prank anyone who wanders into his turf. Here, he's still a troll, but he can now talk now, provided by Master Furor, Panic from Hercules. And he's kind of a loser now. Original Chad Panther would always clown the Virgin Inspector. Modern Panther does usually win, but it's one heck of a beatdown beforehand, and it's usually a lot more smug. There's a lot of other side characters and recurring bits. Kind of like Animaniacs, how it splits its runtime between various segments. Like the an extremely ugly Anteater, who have a Tom and Jerry dynamic. Why does the Anteater look like this? Why did God curse him? Anyways, despite that, I have a huge soft spot for the show. Personal introduction to Pink Panther, and I think the overconfident and smug yet still cool take on Panther Furor gives him helps give him a more unique personality that you can do a lot of stuff with. A fine show, honestly. Not one you've got to rush off to see, but it's a pretty fun way to read up the series. Twisted Tale of Felix the Cat reminds me that no one who works on Felix the Cat is to be trusted behind the wheel. I don't know what it is in this series of all things that makes people suddenly think that one Yoshi Island level with the fuzzies is too normal, but every episode of this series is crazier than the last. With a few recurring characters and elements, like Felix's bag, but for the most part, it's just kind of nonsense. Every character looks like they're from different shows. Plot really just exist to have jokes. Tony J, aka Frollo, voices a very racist duck. Felix ripped off his face at one time, that seems familiar. The show's creators wanted something more family-friendly, while current owners of Felix, at the time, wanted something more accurate to the original shorts. The second season shifted everything around, including recasting Felix. Nothing in the show makes sense, dog. Is this mind-boggling as a movie? No. But honestly, I'm not gonna say it's not fun. This is as no limits as you can get from a kid's comedy. Julie's doing whatever weird, dumb thing they think is funny. The multiple chefs in the kitchen approach helps constantly blindside you with random weirdness, because you don't know if the raiders of the sentence are going to be the ones to keep it safe, or the one that escaped the mental asylum. Honestly, check out a few of these episodes. This isn't a tale everyone should read, but one twist that's worth taking. And it's about time we introduce our final character on the chopping block, Woody Woodpecker. He's really cool and funny, and I love him. Brazil, please don't kill me, I'll call football too. Please just spare my family, my two sons did nothing. The new Woody Woodpecker show was, well, exactly what it sounds like. Attempt to bring a more modern take to the classic franchise. I gotta say, the intro, genuine masterpiece. It's full of quick gags, including the cast and giving everyone their personality in quick bits. The song itself somehow makes Woody's laugh a subtle part of the beat, and it kind of slaps. Like, this is such a great intro. A great intro to a okay cartoon. Now there's good jokes, of course, and it's clear that there was some respect for the original shorts. They kept the most important part of the series. Wally Walrus is literally just a normal dude minding his own business, and Woody's a vile monster who attacks the guy for no reason. But it's kind of confused. Does it want to focus more on the classic gags, or do you want to be a more story-driven sitcom with modern tech? You can at times have both. It helps that it does make use of the wide variety of side characters Woody has, which I appreciate. Like so is Woody's girlfriend, Chili Willy, being cute, and Buzz being the main villain. Yes, it's just true, there's a show where the main hero and villain are named Buzz and Woody. But like, this does kind of feel like the So Ricker version of the original show. The basic skeleton. A lot of the stuff that makes the original series special. But it's have a killer opening, so you know what? New Woody Woodpecker show, we're chill. Well, we had the sons of Popeye and Panther, but it's in one of these videos without a full-on spin-off babies. Baby Felix wasn't delivered, but it does exist. This is, I can't believe I'm saying this, an anime made in Japan of Felix and his cast as babies. Weirdly, adult Felix is there too, interacting with his baby self. Where does this fit in the timeline? I brought up how hated Baby Looney Tunes was in that video, but this might have gotten even more scorn. Classic Felix had a very rascally and mischievous personality, but later shorts started pushing him to more stern for the nice guy persona like Mickey Mouse. The difference between him and Felix though is that Felix having significantly less media and influence means that people can pick and choose his personality instead of being locked to the one Disney gave Mickey nowadays. And most people vastly prefer the troublemaker over the nice guy one. This is Felix though as absolute nicest, safest, blandest nothingness. The problem is though, dude, do you want to be the one beefing with baby Felix the cat? We as humans need to learn to pick and choose our battles wisely. And one battle I'm not gonna pick is this. Like sure, it's safe and bland, but it's cute. I'm not gonna get mad at something that's genuinely innocent. Like it's major, I'm playing with my toys, I hope you die! Energy. Is it weird that adult Felix sounds younger than the toddler? Yeah.
I
I could borrow your magic bag.
What do you need the magic bag for?
Am I gonna burn down Japan for this? No. I'll do it for Rent a Girlfriend, but this is harmless. Felix the Cat Saves Christmas is the final thing from Felix to look at. The professor is upset that his Christmases always sucked, so he's going to have it snow so much that Santa can't fly. He explains it in a song that I definitely misheard a lyric from. The film is very, very cheesy. The songs are very clearly the first drafts of all of them, and voice-wise, everyone has this weird, near-robotic, high-pitched voice. Yeah, it's a fine enough movie. Good enough for your standard Christmas film. Just kind of lame that this is the last thing Felix has done. For such an iconic, important character, to go out and whimper over 2 decades ago, it's kind of sad.
I don't know anything with the word crash in it.
I tried Twitter earlier this year for some reason. Popeye's voice, Quest for Pappy, is a CGI special of Popeye trying to find his long-lost father after he was kidnapped by the evil sea hag. Honestly, it's like a longer version of the shorts in the best way. They have some fun gags, fun takes on the characters, like Bluto being the angry and rude, yet actually supportive second mate on Popeye's ship. A few secondary characters don't usually get focused on modern takes like Wimpy, Sweet Pea, Pappy, and the Sea Hag. Whatever face Bluto makes here, it's an actually pretty fun special that I recommend if you like Popeye. The best Christmas special here. Oh yeah, it's a Christmas special. A tree appears at the beginning and end for like 3 seconds. Fa la 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 la. I mentioned before, the Pink Panther series was originally a series of live-action comedy detective movies. I feel them do push into the 80s. Since they're part of the old franchise directly, I decided to exclude them. There are, however, reboot films of the franchise, which is how I first learned about Pink Panther. It's like the old films. The idiotic detective Inspector Clouseau, played by Steve Martin, is trying to solve the murder of star football player. Also, there's Diamond 2, that you kind of need that for the movie. I don't care what anyone says, this is still hilarious to me. You know, besides the random racist scene, that's not cool. But the slapstick is fun. Steve Martin puts his all into this. And it's actually a fairly decent mystery. The intro, of course, still has the Panther cartoon, this one having the Inspector to look more like Martin. And yeah, it's, as expected, the best part of the film. Like, the Inspector burns his balls off, and immediately after getting kissed, he pulls out a bunch of flowers. I know what you are. Not sure how you can bring shame to France. That's like watering an ocean. Listen, dude, you can't change me here. I'll always love a stupid freaking movie. Also, dude, the hamburger scene had a chokehold over 2006. The sequel sucks, though. The film adds a lot of subplots taking away from Clouseau. And when you do get to Clouseau, he's weirdly racist for some reason. The jokes aren't as funny either. Neither is the mystery. The film is usually pointed as a killer of Steve Martin's career. Listen to 2021's Only Murders in the Building, but that's still over a decade. It was so bad, in fact, that it fully killed Pink Panther as a franchise. Until the next year, Pink Panther and Pals is a return to form for the Pink Panther series. It's pretty much just the old shorts in different art style, having a similar vibe but keeping Panther muted again. Kind of weird that the Inspector is just not here. Weird how unimportant he becomes in the cartoons, when he's literally the only reason the cartoons exist. It's a pretty fun series. It also has the Anteater and Ant segments, where the Ant is voiced by Keenan Kel for some reason. Yeah, it's pretty fun, and it's all on YouTube. Sadly, it was barely on Cartoon Network. With low ratings killing the series, and also consequently, the series itself. I don't usually include casual products in these videos, but I feel like I have to discuss the 2014 Popeye pitch. Made by Genndy Tartakovsky of Dexter's Lab, Samurai Jack, and Adam Sandler Vampire fame, is simply a test animation of Popeye protecting Olive from a bunch of pirates as he gets horrifically mangled. It's actually really impressive, and I'd argue is the best example of translating the classic Golden Age style of humor very well, never holding back in his speed and zaniness. But I get it. Can you keep the wackiness of Popeye in a full theatrical release? Yeah. Because a few years after the pitch, a full animatic was leaked and keeps the fun vibe very well. As for why it was cancelled, well obviously it was the Emoji Movie's fault. It's so cool that this, Velma, and Big Mouth are the root cause between every bad anime decision. Disney canceled Owl House? Clearly because Netflix gave Big Mouth another season. Serious answer though, is creative disagreements. Sony wanted to go heavily on brand recognition and take a Smurfs-esque take on it, and Genndy wanted a good movie. So sadly they split ways. Maybe Popeye will get a second chance after a nice helping of spinach, but I don't have much faith in this one. You know, the live action films are actually pretty decent in this one. Pink Panther reboot and the Popeye film, actually pretty fun. Hopefully Woody Woodpecker 2018 will be the same. So remember when I said the Felix movie wasn't the worst thing here? I can accept a lot of weird cliches from stuff like Alvin and Chipmunks and Garfield and other live-action cartoons in the 2000s. Make one of these now, though, the charm is lost. Alongside gutting all the side cast. At least the Alvin film is focused on the character we know of David, who genuinely cares about the human characters in this. Do you remember their names? God, someone should kill them all. Wait, Woody, wait, no. Yeah, it's actually kind of funny how Woody is just like kind of insane. He keeps trying to put normal humans with no cartoon logic in the most painful situations. The dude's an actual monster. There's stuff besides the alpha rap. Like, on one hand, I'm not going to try and genuinely have beef with the dumb baby kids movie, but also, you know the whole plot of this is that Woody's home is being destroyed. His home is in the Amazon. As this film came out, the Amazon has been wrecked by harvesting and forest fires. It's a sad thing, but also, I can get joy knowing that freaking bird that I hate is dead. Apparently, they thought Woody Woodpecker was going to set 2018 on fire, since in the same year, we got the TV show. This is new Woody with a fresh coat of paint. Flash paint. And yeah, you can guess what this is. It's once again about Woody and friends and enemies having adventures in more modern times. Thankfully, it doesn't go too modern. Woody doesn't dab and twerk and fight Wally Walrus by his fingernails. That episode was sadly canned, as the show didn't last super long. I've never seen anyone discuss this. I can't blame anyone since it's an inferior version of an inferior version. Yes, the original Woody shorts are great. Wow, Brazil, you did something with your hair? You look great. I love how you look, Brazil. Please don't harm me! I feel like I forget it will show, but I mean, it does horrifically stretch out Woody for some reason, which, like, I wouldn't mind adding him to Fortnite, just hanging out there. I am so glad Popeye's Island Adventure is so under the radar. It's a show about a younger take on Popeye crew that is significantly tamer and has a round, bubbly art style. I think I just gave a Twitter user a heart attack. I mean, not like it's anything special. I've seen jokes like this before. It's again super tame. Other than taking place mostly on a ship, it doesn't need to be Popeye themed, especially since most characters only make noises instead of talking. My question though is, why is Popeye blonde? This man does not scream blonde to me. Same as Bluto's beard being shaved. Gross. I need my hairy king. It's whatever. But it is sad this is the last thing from Popeye for now. And for the final thing in this video, Woody somehow got a second live action film. Why? Anyways, Woody Woodpecker Goes to Camp is shockingly kind of fun. Yeah, this is a big twist, ain't it? 2014 gave us a good Woody Woodpecker movie, but a bad Megamind sequel. Worst timeline. But it's fun. Not like a cinematic masterpiece. It had a few fun moments. It focuses more on the wackiness of Woody. There's less weird, evil, murderer Woody Woodpecker humor. And the thing I'm excited about, Buzz Buzzard and Wally Walrus are on this. Live action cartoons really include characters outside of the household names. And Buzz is a really fun villain who can actually be decent fit while also being funny. Well, I like how Wally's a neutral force here, because my man has never been evil in his life. Woody is just a menace. Again, I'm not going to say it's like my favorite movie or cinematic masterpiece worthy of an Oscar, but like, it's a fun movie. And I'm glad at least one of these series is still kept alive. And that was a short video. 5 entire franchises, a whole extra decade compared to my other ones, and this is all I get? It's kind of sad, honestly. Okay, I want to go back to my question at the start. I want to predict what the one person who answered said. Felix is the first major cartoon character, predating Mickey. Also, he has a bag. Popeye is probably best known here. People know the basic setup of Popeye's with Olive, Leo beats him and steals her, Popeye steals spinach and beats him up and wins. Without being any what people know about her. Betty is one of the first female leads in animation, and old people are horny for her. Woody has an iconic laugh, and that's about it. For Pink Panther, you'll know his theme song, maybe the Spectre, maybe even that he originated from a live-action movie. For such iconic characters that have probably who've been around for probably triple the life of anyone watching, most people don't really know anything about them. I'm sure if I asked about Looney Tunes, you could name a dozen or so characters and some plots of the old shorts and running gags and so on. But not really with these 5. They're kept alive more as mascots than genuine characters. Why do you think the only notable thing some of these guys have been in is awful public domain horror movies? Just saying, Popeye as a slasher is the lamest thing you could do with him. You could make this work. Make him like a Freddy Krueger-esque wisecracking reality warper, not do with a knife. Why make it Popeye? Like literally, the day I'm writing this outro, a Betty Boop horror film has been announced. Because guess who's going public domain next year? Do people even care enough about these characters to watch these movies? It's not like Winnie the Pooh and Mickey Mouse, who are still beloved iconic characters. Most people aren't fans of these. But like, these are genuinely really fun characters. This video has got me to go back to the old shorts of all of them. And they hold up really well. Both from a comedy perspective and an animation perspective. These still hold up. They really made me like them more. Especially Pink Panther. Like, I always loved the old Popeye shorts, but dude, I adore Panther now too. But when it comes to these 5, outside of garbage horror films, there's another live action Popeye movie coming out, apparently. Felix is getting a TV show, and that's it. These guys have no real presence online or general real popularity, even though they should. I hope that one day, though, the gold will stop rusting, and the icons of the past will rise again. And that was all the cartoons I want to talk about in this kind of format. I do want to do more in this style where I look at all the more modern reboots of classic franchises. Waka Waka, It's a reference to both of the ideas I have. But for now, this is where the golden age of animation ends on this channel, and seemingly in pop culture. So can I get the lights back on now? Okay, that's kind of better when I had them. What? Who's doing that? Oh, Nosferatu!
My house is ruined. Rebuilding it would be exhausting. You do it.